Listen, in this video, I'm gonna cover the 3 biggest mistakes that I see people make habitually when starting a business. Okay. And so after watching this video, guess what? You won't have to be one of those people. Now, right off the rip, we're gonna get into it. Okay. One of the first mistakes, the most chronic mistakes that I see people making when starting a business is that they go and start the LLC first. Okay. Now you like, well, hold on, B. If I'm starting a business, shouldn't I go start the business? Well, starting a business starts far beyond going to file a LLC. Starting the business is literally figuring out, one, what problem are you going to fix for people, right? So based on your unique skill set, your desire, like what problem based on your skill set are you going to go out and fix for people? So for instance, I've been investing in real estate for 18 years, done a lot in this business, made a lot of money, but I also lost a lot of money years ago. So that unique experience and skill set that I've gained and garnered over the years has allowed me for the last 6, almost 7 years, help people literally all over the world go out and invest in real estate, do it in a safe manner, give them processes and systems, give them resources, how to go out and raise capital, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to first figure out what is that thing for you that you do extremely well, that then you could go out and help others solve the problem that they're going to encounter when they go try to do the thing that you know how to do well. Okay. And so it's very important that we think from the marketplace, not for the marketplace. So we may geek out on a particular topic and figure, since we geek out on that thing, that then other people are going to be interested in it. But that's not the proper way to start a business. The proper way to start a business is to think and identify and survey the real problems that people are having, and then see if those things align with the skill set that you develop, that you can go and help those people solve that problem. Make sense? So that's the first problem that I see. People go out and start an LLC. It's like you don't have a business until you identify the business. And you identify the business by identifying the problem that you're going to solve for a large group of people that you've been able to solve for yourself. Okay. So then once we identify the problem that we're going to solve, we got to identify the people we're going to solve it for. So like, what do these people think about every day? What do they do for occupation every day? What's their economic level? What kind of cars do they drive? What kind of places do they go? What kind of people do they hang with? Right? You gotta figure out who these people are and be as very specific as possible, because you need to hone in on who your avatar is. If you're speaking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So we got to be very specific about the avatar, the people that we've identified that we want to help fix this problem. Okay. And then lastly, after doing that, yeah, you got to figure out what you're going to charge them. Like what is the proper price for someone to pay based on the value that you're going to be providing? Because price is only an issue in the absence of value. And people oftentimes in business think it's some race to the bottom. If I'm just the cheapest, then everybody should buy it. As a matter of fact, if you're the cheapest, then you clearly aren't the best. And for those people that are high value people, they're going to value the thing less just because it's priced less. Right? Because nobody believes that you're the best if you're the cheapest, period. Charity is done on one level, business is done on another. Okay. And so you got to separate those two worlds, your charity versus your business. And your business should be priced according to the level of the problem that you solve for someone. Okay. So we've got mentorships that go up to $100,000, right? But those are people who are looking to make 7 figures consistently. So that makes sense. You spend 100,000 to make 7 figures. You spend 6 figures to make 7 figures. Price is only an issue in the absence of value. You get it? So when you start thinking about your varying levels of what you want to offer in business, you got to understand what you should charge in lieu of the value that you're bringing that person, and what benefit do they get financially from making the investment to buy your service, product, or thing. Copy? Cool. So you do all of this, by the way, before you ever go and start a LLC, because the LLC that you're thinking you're starting, if there's no business attached to it, true business attached to it, then you just started a liability, not a business, because you're just going to pay to keep filing this thing every year, but you got no revenue coming to it. All right. So mistake number one, don't do it. Mistake number two, getting business cards and websites and thinking that that's important. Nah, no. If you know, if there's any top end millennials or even Gen X watching this or even boomers watching this, I know y'all gonna get me in the comments, and that's fine. You could be wrong. Okay, here's what I know. I'm not saying don't get business cards and websites, but that's the accoutrements of having a business, right? Those are things that signal that you may have a business, but that's not the most effective way to grow your business. You know what is? Whenever I go to networking events now, as a matter of fact, I was at, it was a hedge fund conference in Orlando several months back. And I was there. And historically, hedge fund guys are more conservative, right? So, you know, it's blazers this, suits that, business cards that, websites that, right? Very archaic in the way in which they present and position themselves in their businesses. At the very same time, though, right? I don't care what industry you in. Social media puts velocity on the know, like, trust factor, period. And it was interesting to me as I walked around and people would ask me for a business card. And I'm like, no, I give you my social media. Oh, I'm not really on social media. Well, how do you have a business? I really don't understand today how you effectively have a growing, thriving business if you are not on social media. Okay. And one of the biggest mistakes is hiding behind a business card. You know why? Because here's the problem. At this networking event, if you collect 50, 100 business cards, how do you delineate between who was who? Right? Maybe one or two stuck out the most, but you got 50 or 100 business cards. And so just the same way I'm asking you that question, you have to ask yourself that question when you're giving business cards out, because guess what? They also collected 50 to 100 business cards. So what made you stand out? Now there's ways to do that, and that's a different conversation for another video. But what's more important about that is if I can give somebody my social media and they follow me on social media, whatever exchange that we had for that 30-second, 3-minute, 13-minute conversation, I can continue now the conversation through my social media. Some of the most fruitful and profitable relationships that I've had over the last 5 years have come through social media, has come through posting videos, going live, making myself more accessible to the public. Because my consistency in posting videos and adding value and showing my level of knowledge and my level of depth on whatever topic that I'm going over gives them way more confidence in the know, like, trust factor, because as they're consuming my content, they're getting to know me more, far more than they ever could in that 30-second, 3-minute, 13-minute conversation. Does that make sense? So your business card, albeit is great. You got the matte finish on it. It's thick. The paper's thick. You know, all the stuff that we think is important. It's just not. What's important is how quickly can you get them over the bridge of know, like, trust. And there's no better way of doing that than through your social media. Not through your website, not through your business card. It's okay to have those as placeholders. But if you can't drive traffic to that, then it don't matter, right? You have the idea of business, but the real way to get the momentum in business is to build the know, like, trust factor and then drive traffic to wherever your business is happening, albeit on the website or whatever else. Okay. So that's number two. Thinking that business cards and websites are far more important than what they really are. Okay. And number three, and this is the big whammy right here. Okay. Trying to build out a team too soon. Now I know for my business owner, you're like, listen, as fast as I can fire myself from my business, the better. I get it. We all feel that way. The problem, though, is that many people get into business too soon and they start delegating responsibility too soon. The problem with that is if you're delegating something that you've never done yourself, then how do you know how to hold that person accountable after you delegate it to them? The answer is you don't. So based on your limited understanding of how the job is supposed to be completed, if you hire them as an expert, albeit they're not one, they know more than you do. So whatever they're feeding you, you almost have to go along with it and acquiesce to some degree, because you really don't have enough empirical data from your own practical application to fact check what they're doing and what they're not doing. So it's a big, big problem. And oftentimes it's not even from a function of the business owner is inundated and so they gotta delegate. Oftentimes it's from a place of posture. Like, oh, I'm this new big and bad business owner, and so I'm gonna start giving up these responsibilities because I'm too good to be doing these responsibilities, because I need to go put on my blazer and pick up my business cards with the thick and matte finish on it and go hand out as many as I can. And it's like, no, you actually need to go get the mop and the broom and uh, the files and the marketing and the sales and the operations. And you need to learn every function throughout your business, not so that you can be great at all of them, but that you can have enough working knowledge that as you hire people greater than you in those areas, that you can effectively hold them accountable. Y'all with me? Okay. Because I don't want y'all to be those people. So again, the 3 mistakes that people make more chronically than others is: 1, they start the LLC before they actually figure out the business. 2, they go get the accoutrements of business, thinking business cards and websites are more important than what they are. And then lastly, they go out and they try to delegate and build a team far too soon before they get enough practical experience in all those areas that they're going to go and hire for. All right. If this was helpful, let me know. Okay. I make these videos for y'all. Also, hit that notification bell so that you can get notified as I'm putting this content out. And yes, if it helped you, go help somebody else. Share it with a friend. And I will see y'all in the next one.